Welcome back on the mat. So we'll get started in a seated position with your hands comfortably resting in your lap. Roll your shoulders up close to your ears and then pull them back, sliding them down so that there's no tension. And now in our seated position, we will start by getting the right knee to point to the front, step the left foot over, get the right arm to the outside of the knee, opposite hand behind the back, take an in-breath to get length in your spine, exhale to twist. Starting with a spinal twist. And I'll bring it back to center. And we'll switch. Get the opposite leg at the bottom, step it over. We now get the left arm to the outside of the knee, deep in breath, exhale, twist. Using inhale to come back to center, releasing, making your way to all fours. In our all fours shape, spread the fingers, grip the mat, but then as you sort of dip the belly down towards the mat, shift weight over to the left hand and then work your navel away from the floor, dipping down as you shift weight to the right hand. So we're sort of just moving from one side to the other as we round in the spine and arch in the back. We'll be doing a number of spinal twists. Just want to focus on the entire spine. And spinal work can take some time, so if you don't quite have the mobility that you want, you can change rotation. If you don't quite have the mobility that you want, just know that it's going to come over time. Patience is key. But a disciplined practice without expecting results in return would definitely be a safe way to approach the practice. I suppose it's also a good way to approach life. Let's spread the fingers, grip the mat, tuck toes, and take it into your first down and facing dog pose. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot in between hands. Bring your back knee down. Similar to what we just did, you want to work the left arm around the right knee. Bring the hand down to the floor. Lengthen in your spine. Draw navel to spine. Take your right arm up. The breath is consistent. Exhale to look down. Let's bring our hands onto the mat, straighten the back leg, step it back into plank. Low down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down and facing dog. Be patient, we're moving one step at a time. We want to be detailed as we do this. Inhale, take your left leg up. Exhale, position left foot between hands. Bring your back knee down. Take the right arm over the left leg. Place your hand down if you can. Take opposite arm up. Keep length in your spine. Look down to the floor. Release the hands onto mat. Straighten the back leg, step it back. Chaturanga Dandasana on exhale. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Slowly but surely warming up in the spine so that we can simply take it deeper. Bend into knees, look up. In breath, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Back to some lunge. Twisting on inhale, take right leg up. Exhale, step right foot in between hands. Keep your back leg straight. Twist. Get your left arm to the outside of the right leg. Take opposite arm up. Back leg is straight. Breath is strong. And look down to the floor. Exhale, bring the hands onto mat. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, position left foot in between hands. Keep your back leg straight. Arm over the leg. Left arm goes up. Looking down to the floor, release the hands down, step it back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale to down dog. Now for a second, bring your knees down onto the mat. Walk your arms out in front. Bring your armpits closer to the floor into a bit of a puppy stretch. Just to get nice extension in the spine. Tilt your bum up and breathe. Slowly make your way back up onto all fours. As you do so, before we continue, just a cat and cow to flex and extend in the spine. So tuck your chin around your back, empty your lungs, inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale back into a neutral position. Tuck your toes, taking your downward facing dog shape. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot in between hands. Now, if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can slightly shorten your stance, but not too much at all. You want to twist and get your left arm over your right leg, hand to the floor. Now, pivot your back foot. Take your opposite arm up and over. Keep breathing. pushing the right leg into your arm to facilitate the twist. Look down to the floor. Release your hands onto the mat. Stepping back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So the idea is not really to shorten the stance, but I know it makes it a little bit more doable to angle the back foot. It does, however, throw that straight line out of alignment. So inhale, take your left leg up. Exhale, place left foot in between hands. Maybe attempt to keep the foot exactly where it is. Start to twist to get the right arm over the left leg. Then angle your back foot. You've got heel toe alignment. Opposite arm up and over. Pushing knee into your arm, arm into your front knee. Looking down to the floor. Release the hands back onto mat. Step it back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. We'll play with a bind. So on inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot between hands. As you come up, once again, twist. Get the left arm to the outside of the front leg. Bend your arm and walk your hand towards your opposite rib cage. Take the top arm around. See if you can find your hand, twist as you bind. If this option's not available, just take it as far as you can. Keep length in your back. Push the ball of the back foot into the floor. Look down to the mat. Release the bind. Step it back. Chaturanga Dandasana. In breath, up dog. Exhale to down dog. So once again, detailed, not rushed. We'll attempt the opposite side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot between hands. As you come up, start to twist. Draw navel to spine. See if you can get the arm towards the rib cage. Bind and twist. And look down to the floor, releasing your bind. Step it back into plank. Low down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. We maintain some flow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Place your knees onto mat. Now the next little twist we'll do, it's going to be very subtle. It's more about getting the shoulder blades closer together, which means that we are working into the upper back. So tuck your toes, straighten your legs. Shift weight onto left hand, angle your feet. Take the right arm up, and then pull your right arm to the back wall, getting the shoulder blades closer together. Exhale, bring it down. Pivot your feet, shift weight into the right hand, the left arm goes up, and the arm goes towards the back wall. Exhale, bring your hand down. We'll be lowering down halfway just for a little bit of upper body work. Tuck elbows, start to lower down, but don't go all the way into a chaturanga. And lower down to chaturanga nidasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your hips back into plank, and this time round, slowly lower all the way down onto the mat. Take your arms out to the sides, in line with your shoulders. You'll reach with the left foot towards the right hand. And bring it back, taking the opposite leg towards the left hand. Bring it back and twist. Take it back and twist. Keep moving, just feeling into your own spine. One more, twisting, and then as you bring it back to center, position your hands below the shoulders. Push yourself away from the floor, keeping your pelvis firmly on the mat. Exhale, lower down, tuck toes, straighten legs, push into a plank, lifting hips into a downward facing dog shape. Bend into knees, look up, in-breath, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, take arms to ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose. We'll keep left foot firmly on the mat. Bend your right knee. Grip hold onto the outside of the right foot. Place opposite hand onto your waist. Start to straighten the leg. If you don't have the flexibility, keep the leg bent. Otherwise, straighten the leg. Take your opposite arm to the back of the mat. Turn your gaze to the back. Bend into the knee. As you come back to center, place your hands onto your waist. Pull your knee close to your chest, flex your foot, and hold. Exhale. Bring your leg down. We'll switch. Right foot firmly on the mat. Bend your left knee. Reach, find the outside of the left foot. Left hand can be on the waist. Start to straighten the leg as much as you can. Only then twist, looking towards the back hand. Bring your gaze back to the front. Bend into your knee. Both hands onto your waist. Knee pulling up. Exhale. Bring your left foot down. We'll step wide on the mat and carry on with a little bit of spinal twisting. So with the wide stance, you can take it into a halfway lift. Place your right hand to the center of your chest, taking your opposite arm up to ceiling. Bend your arm. Find your inner thigh with the right, at least with the left hand. Draw the shoulder away from ear and keep twisting. You're opening the chest. Exhale, bring your gaze to the floor, releasing your hand onto the mat and switch sides. So opposite hand on the floor, reaching up, start to twist. Arm around, find your inner thigh and twist. Bring your gaze back onto the mat. Now take your hands and walk them all the way to the back of the mat towards your back foot, working head to your shin. Be careful not to hyperextend. And the legs, also not pushing the hips far back. We keep the hips in line with the heels, releasing the back foot, walking the hands to the front of the mat, gripping hold of the opposite foot. And walking or bringing your weight back to center. Position your hands below your shoulders. Now, if you're not getting your hands onto the mat, you can walk back slightly, but you want hand-shoulder distance, fingers spread, slight gap between the toes and the heels. Now, just as a little bit of an upper body and core sensation, let's push out of the hands, out of your shoulders, get onto your tippy toes, suck navel to spine, and see if you can get the feet to lightly lift off the mat. So you can try it more than once, gripping, pushing away, getting onto tiptoes, floating and back down. Maybe you can hold it a little bit longer, push, and then bring it down. Place hands onto the waist. Inhale, make your way back into a standing position and step to the front end of the mat. Inhalation, arms to ceiling. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands and exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll be making our way into a seated position, so bending into knees, look up and then step or jump into seated. As you come down, straighten your legs. We'll do a Marichyasana. So step your right foot in. The idea is to get the left arm to the outside of the right leg. Take your arm around, see if you can snake it through or past, bending into the arm, finding your opposite wrist or fingers. Take a nice deep in-breath. Exhale, twist, looking over the back shoulder. If you struggle to bind, simply keep your arm to the outside of the right knee. Turn your gaze back to center. Release the bind. Straighten the right leg. We will do the opposite side. So stepping your left foot in, right arm to the outside. And same thing, we want to get the arm around, taking opposite arm around the body. Find your hand. Nice deep in breath. Exhale, twist. Exhale. Bring your gaze back to center. Release the bind. Straighten both legs. You'll flex your feet. Inhale, taking arms up to ceiling. Exhale, moving into a forward bend of your choice. It can be Paschimottanasana C, maybe B, holding onto the outsides of the feet, or even pistol gripping the big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Now simply cross your legs. Get into a normal cross-leg position. Place your left hand onto your right knee, opposite hand behind the back. Very gentle spinal twist on inhale. Lengthen in spine. Exhale, twist. So surely you're pushing the left arm into the right knee in order to twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, twisting in the opposite direction. So use the inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Inhale, coming back to center, and straighten your legs. We'll be lowering down onto the mat for some reclined spinal twisting. Now, as you lie on your back, get your right leg to 90. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Drop the right knee to the left. Get your right elbow all the way to the left elbow. So let the shoulder blade lift off the mat. Get the elbows to almost touch. Keep the left shoulder firmly on the mat. And now start to open up, actively working the right elbow and shoulder blade towards the mat. So we did the full twist to the left in order to open up to the right. Just keep pulling the right arm towards the floor. Let's bring the right elbow back to the left elbow one more time. So we're rolling over onto the one side and then open up, twisting. Bring the right knee back up. Straighten the right leg onto the mat. Make sure you are in a straight line, that you're not lying in a funny position, and then pull your left knee up. Now drop the left knee over to the right. Let's get the left elbow close to the right elbow, so you're rolling onto your side. Now staying in that position, just start to open up, working your left elbow towards the floor. One more time. You're going to work the left elbow towards the right elbow, getting onto your left shoulder, at least right shoulder, and then open up, twisting. And I'll bring the left knee back, straighten your left leg into somewhat of a corpse pose. We are not quite done. Just as you soften onto the mat, step your feet onto the mat, get the inner knees together and walk the feet apart. So this has nothing to do with the spinal twisting that we've been busy with, but instead a bit of internal rotation for the hips. So you're going to slightly lift the left knee and actively work the right knee down towards the mat, and take it back up and switch. And one more time, lift the left knee, take the right leg down. Bring the right leg up, take the left knee down. Bring the left knee back up, get the inner knees to touch. Hold this position. Soon we'll be doing the opposite, meaning we'll be doing external rotation in the hips. And that's Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly pose. Now separate the knees, walk your feet back onto the mat, get the soles of the feet together, knees dropping out to the sides for our very last posture. As you hold this position, you've got the option of closing your eyes, but you can now ease out of your Ujjayi breathing into a normal breathing pattern where nothing's controlled, it's happening automatic. You're basically back on autopilot with your breathing pattern. Just allow the knees to be heavy. And now you can bring the knees back together, straighten your legs, and prepare for corpse pose. So relaxing onto the mat. I like to tilt my pelvis, push lower back into the mat, and then go soft, just to make sure I'm not holding tension in the pelvis or lower back. Shoulders away from ears, feet flopping out naturally, fingers curling in naturally. There's length in your neck, eyes closed, face is soft, breath is natural. You can stay in this corpse pose for as long as you need this corpse pose, and once you are done, you can carry on with your day.